Salute to my guy BA. So BA, we just getting things started. We talking about probably the hottest topic going down in the NBA now is the James Harden versus Daryl Morey situation. James Harden calling him a liar, putting it out there that he don't want to play for a team that has Daryl Morey under the umbrella. Um, to go back to what you were saying, Trey, like one thing that I'm noticing is James Harden is going to find his way out of Philadelphia, but I don't think he's going to find his way in the destination that he's looking for because he doesn't have that much leverage in this situation.
Mm-hmm. So he does it. When you look at it, it's even. And then just recently, I seen reports. I can't remember where I seen it at, that he's now saying it doesn't have to be the Clippers. He just wants to
Right.
go.
Right.
So at this point, and so you know what I'm saying. But it's like, what does that look like? Like, what are y'all willing to give up? If y'all was GMs right now, what are you willing to give up for James Harden? He's reinvented himself, but how much has he reinvented himself?
BA, did you see the video of him calling out Daryl Morey?
Yeah, it was a force out scare tactic.
Mm.
Were you surprised that he took that move?
Nah, because when you desperate and you really want to go somewhere, which right now he's at the end of his career, and he's done this throughout his career. He just did this a year and a half ago. He probably wants to most likely finish his career in LA. That's his home.
Yeah,
he wants to go back home for the rest of his career. I think that I don't think he has issues with Daryl Morey because Daryl Morey has given him anything and everything. Has given him the world during his career. And if I'm not mistaken, Daryl Morey is the reason why he even went to Philly.
That's what Trey and I was talking about. You know, outside of the Kyrie situation, just Philly as a destination. I felt like Daryl Morey played an incredible role in that, seeing how their relationship was dating back to the Houston Rockets.
Yeah,
man, this was very interesting to me. And Daryl Morey, he put it out there like he don't really care about the name calling. You know, he's going to do what's best for the organization, like Trey said. So it's not impossible that they wouldn't move James Harden. But I'm like, okay, James Harden want to go to the Clippers. If Philly was to move him to the Clippers, more than likely they're going to be asking for the Paul George at least. And, you know, what's the point of James Harden going to the Clippers if they can't keep that core that they already have? So, you know, James Harden saying that he's willing to play in another destination, Trey, I think is cap. BA, I think is cap because we know, just like BA said, looking at his career, if he plays for a team that has no shot at really winning a title, he's going to quit on them. He's going to quit on them. So we're going to wind up in the same situation next year, depending on the team that, you know, winds up getting him. And if I'm not mistaken, his contract, he has a player option next year. So even if he stayed in Philly, we could be doing the same thing all over again next offseason. So the saga continues with Harden and the Philadelphia 76ers. But I'm going to be real, BA. I was surprised that he straight out called Daryl Morey a liar, and double down, said it twice. Like, let's not get it twisted. It blew me away.
I'm not surprised. He's one of these players where, like, the reason why I'm really not surprised, he's one of these players that he will get in front of the camera where it's millions of people watching and say something ridiculous, stating like he did it in Houston. I don't want to be here. When he was when he went to Brooklyn. And he was in Brooklyn. He looked at the cameras and said, I don't want to be here, really. I don't feel like I'm not feeling the atmosphere. And they had to ship him off. So he's been saying this, but he had to take it a step further to try to get his way. But hopefully they can get him. They can get something good for him. If not, he might be not playing this season, or he might have to retire early.
Interesting. Trey, if you had to be a betting man, a gambling man, where will James Harden be playing by the time the playoffs start?
By the time the playoffs starts, I think what will potentially happen, depending on if there's any teams that's struggling out there and they're willing to be desperate, he will probably be in LA. He probably make it to LA. The Clippers in state, but that means basically he's left Philly. He went somewhere that he wasn't particular of, and basically the team that picked him up is holding on to that little 38 because at the end state he's going to get 38 million. That's the end. That's the end of this. That's the end of the topic. Unless he does a buyout with Philadelphia, and then he becomes a free agent that owns his own rights. But for the most part, unless that happens, then that's basically what it is. And I see Daryl Morey just like BA was talking about. Maybe this could be a ruse. Maybe this is a situation where James and Daryl concocted this. They, you know what I'm saying, they doing it's like, you know what I'm saying, it's like Drake and Meek Mill is beefing, and then all of a sudden, and then a couple of months later, after Drake them body him, now they're on a track together. So you know what I'm saying, it's basically at the end state, it could be one of those situations, which is far fetched in a sense, but it can happen. So I think end state is if it comes down to where you're talking about by the trade deadline, potentially I think James might end up at his destination of choice. But it might not happen the way we thought it would happen.
I think that he might.
What about you? Where is he going to wind
up? He's going to end up probably. He's going to end up in somewhere like Toronto or somewhere probably. If I don't think Ty Lue wants that. I don't think Ty Lue wants that energy, bro. I don't think the Clippers want that type of energy, especially with Russell Westbrook on that roster as well. Like I don't see him going to. I don't see him. I just don't see him leaving Philly to a playoff contender. I don't. And then if this is real, then the way that Daryl Morey plays is he's gonna play hardball with him and yo, we're not gonna let you go anywhere. And if we do trade you, we're gonna trade you to who we want to trade you to. We're not gonna trade you to where you want to go.
Yeah. And so of course I don't want it like that. Of course, I don't want it like that because that means you imagine a California connection of Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George all in the same team. Like that's probably even with the way that things has been going. What happens if they just all decide we're gonna run it back the clock and we're gonna basically play like we're in our prime and Kawhi and Paul can go a whole year? That's detrimental to LA to the Lakers. Like I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think he's probably gonna remain in Philly. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like, unless he becomes such a problem, unless he becomes such a problem, you know, I don't think Daryl Morey is going to be shaking at all. Like BA said, he's going to do what's best for the organization, and I don't think there's a deal out there that's going to match the value of I guess what people feel like James Harden bring to the table. So he's going to be sitting, I think, in Philly for at least 82 games unhappy.
He could have got his year. He could have got his money. They were offering him what? In Brooklyn, they offered him what? 3 years, 160, I think, or it was something. It was something ridiculous. And it was more than that. It was actually that was about 160 for 3 years, and that's crazy.
I think that's why he's pushed that, which in this case, it really could be a situation to where Daryl Morey messed him over. Like he could have basically not opted out. He could have been a free agent and he could be somewhere getting ready to go to camp with somebody potentially that would have offered him some money. He would be like, okay, I'll take that. I think that's one of the reasons why potentially it could be a situation where he said, Morey, you lied to me. And I'm not, you know, saying he messed up for his livelihood. He opted in. Now he's Philly.
But it's one of those things where, like, did Daryl really lie to him? Because what did you do?
Okay, I feel you.
You didn't produce to the standard that you said you were going to produce when you got here. Because I went out to go get you because I still see that guy that was in Houston putting up 36, 12, and 8.
MVP.
That guy.
MVP.
Yeah. Like he's no longer that guy. Ever since he tore that hamstring. Ever since he tore that hamstring, he ain't been the same player. But I guarantee you, he was talking to Daryl behind the scenes through whatever, saying, yo, I'm back. I'm 100%. Trust me. And Daryl took that shot and made him promises, and they both lied to each other.
And now Morey's like, nah, you still owe me, Cam.
Exactly.
Genuine in this joint.
I like that take. fellas. That's real talk right there.